Well, I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited that my good friend and partner allowed me to take over her Instagram, Allow the Sun. Chelsea Hannawalt has been a great friend of mine and now business partner for years, and so I am happy to be here. I do feel like my introduction is that I am Esther Triggs Camacho, and I am a co-founder of the Journey Theater Project with Chelsea Hannawalt, who you are maybe familiar with because you are on her Instagram. And this is a share the mic opportunity and an opportunity for us to also just talk about what Journey Theater Project is and the work that we have been doing and continuing to do. Sometimes I can just go on and on and on and talk for hours, as some folks know. But today I want to make sure that I am still also bringing on my co-founders, Nikki and Chelsea, at some point so that we can begin this conversation, because Journey Theater Project is all about having conversations. We came out of an applied theater program at CUNY for professional studies in New York City, and the applied theater program is basically getting your master's in utilizing theater in multiple different arenas in the world. For us, the most important thing is our work as diversity, equity, and inclusion educators, and specifically on becoming anti-racist educators and educating others to become anti-racist, as well as educating folks on how they can work to dismantle white supremacy. White supremacy being the system that is working diligently every day to oppress folks. So I would love to see if I can get Nikki to come on and join me. I have only always talked by myself on these wonderful Instagrams, so I might have a hard time figuring out how to get her to join, but I'm going to click this button and I'm going to click on Nikki, and I hope that that is helpful. And it looks like I did it. Looks like I figured this out in this tech savvy world.
Can you see me moving? Can you hear me?
You are connecting and I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
I am frozen.
Are you?
I don't know.
I definitely can hear you loudly.
Okay. Well, that's something. I see myself as a frozen image scratching my head. But that's fine, because honestly, I just wanted to chat with you. So you don't need to see my face for that.
I mean, I do what I can imagine.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I look like very well. So,
oh, gosh darn it. It looks like we lost her. Nikki is one of the co-founders of Journey Theater Project, and she was going to come on and ask me some she always asks the most difficult questions, so that was going to be her role. I'm going to go ahead and try one more time to get her on here. Once again, I'm Esther Triggs Camacho, co-founder of the Journey Theater Project. Chelsea Hannawalt, my partner and friend, long time, has allowed me to take over her Instagram, and right now I'm getting Nikki on board. Hopefully, I think I can hear you, Nikki.
Hey, it is I again.
So you are here.
I'm here, and I would love to hear you talk about, we work together in the workshops about courageous conversations and race, and I feel really passionate about the work because as a white person, I have felt just the positive and like the change and learning happening in my body, in my heart, and my mind using applied theater.
And it looks like I might have lost Nikki again, but I have a feeling I know where she's going with this. I think she wants me to speak about our work as applied theater practitioners and why it's important for us to do this work, becoming anti-racist educators and doing this work to help others become anti-racist. And honestly, the the truth is, Journey Theater Project, like I already mentioned, started out of the applied theater program at CUNY for SPS. And it started with this need and desire to build communities, to build stronger, better communities. And what better way to do that than to utilize fun theater conventions? Now, people might say, oh, theater, that's kind of weird. I'm not comfortable with that. But when we talk about using theater conventions, we're not talking about everyone always getting up and acting in front of folks. And instead, what we're talking about is using ways to educate people, utilizing their mind, their heart, and their bodies, as Nikki just got done mentioning. I know she is having some technical difficulty right now as well. But for myself, I have watched folks that need to have data to be their concrete beginning of how they approach situations that they are learning about. I have watched them go from that need of having data to going to transforming into a person who becomes an empathetic learner and an empathetic listener, and someone that can begin to understand other folks' perspectives. And I think perspective shifting is key when we're doing this work as anti-racist educators, because we want folks to not just hear our voices and accept what we are saying, but we want them to hear our voices and internalize them and begin to reflect for themselves where what we are sharing with them fits into their worldview, their lives. And then through having dialogue and reflection with other folks in the room, they can then also build outwardly to their scope of understanding of other folks' perspectives. And this is the most amazing thing to me, because it's not just what I would consider our white supremacist way of teaching, which is a teacher stands in the front of the classroom and tells you what you should think, but it is rather a much more informed way of engaging in critical thinking and in educating yourself in a way that begins to make you think and analyze the work, as opposed to us do all the thinking and analyzing for you. So that's been exciting for me to see happen with the Journey Theater Project. And especially now during this time, having so many folks showing up that want to educate themselves and coming away and saying, wow, I never thought of it that way. I never realized that, for instance, implicit bias lives in your body. It's not just in your mind, it's in your body. And so in order to actively disengage your implicit bias, to dismantle your implicit bias, you need to find more ways to work toward doing that. And it can't be just read in a textbook. It can't be just in a lecture. It has to be in your body. You have to find these ways to change, to make those change, to rewire your brain. I feel like that is all I need to say about that. We would love for anyone who wants to go over and follow us at the Journey Theater Project to learn more. We are continuing to have more Race and You Courageous Conversation workshops. They are a 3-part workshop series. The first is on implicit bias. They are usually 2 hours, although we tend to go a little over in length. And the next one will be after implicit bias is systemic racism. And then after that, we go into having courageous conversations. And we really do this to scaffold in opportunities for folks to get the education, keep getting the education, put it in their bodies, have the dialogue, have the reflection, and then be able to go out and implement it and have courageous conversations. So you'll get more information on that soon. I would like to see if my other wonderful co-founder, Chelsea, who I'm taking over her Instagram, is able to pop on. I know she had some thoughts that she wanted to, or rather questions she wanted to ask me about as well. There you are.
It works.
I'm so glad that it worked too, because I noticed halfway through, or about 5 seconds in, that my cleavage was just out of control, and I couldn't figure out how I was going to tilt my camera up without showing the ugly light in my bedroom. So you're here with me now. I can feel free to like move.
It cuts you off. Yay. So, okay, we talked about the workshop. So there's another workshop that we have done, the every 28-hour play workshop. So I'm just curious to get more, because I know you went to the original workshop from the racial justice workshop through CUNY last year, and so I'm curious, like, can you describe it, and then also like why, as Journey Theater Project, we decided to host these.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Well, first of all, so Journey Theater Project, we co-produced with, or we're part of the production team with CUNY SPS, Masters in Applied Theater program, to make the Racial Justice Conference in November happen, Signs of the Times. And the Claudia Alec was not a person that I brought in, but I had the good fortune of getting into the space with her in another workshop where we were doing flag dancing with one of my good old friends and colleagues. And that was so refreshing and so invigorating to do together. And we were laughing and joking. And then later on that day, I found out she was a presenter, and that I was going to go to her workshop. And I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't sure what to expect. It said that we were going to be dissecting some plays, and I kind of like just glimpsed at it. And although I knew about, because we brought her in, I knew kind of what it was about, I hadn't done any actual research on it ahead of time. It was a busy time. I'm a mother, and I had 18 jobs all the time, so I didn't do any research. But I'm kind of excited about that, because then I had no anticipation of what I was to expect. And I got in the room with her, and she was just a rocket of energy and love and support. And she explained to us the importance of doing this work and why and where it began. And it was in part of Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and they did it outside after the Ferguson riots in 2014, I believe. And it was really a call for action. 76 or more playwrights from across the country all wrote 1-minute plays based on the statistic that is wildly contested, that every 28 hours a Black person is killed by a vigilante, a police officer, or a security guard. And the biggest thing that always sticks out to me is when people are arguing why, where's the data on 28 hours? And I already mentioned people love to have data, right? And her whole response was, well, what number would you be more comfortable with? And it just hit me. And then it made me feel like I need to do this over and over and over again. So we had 15 actors last week in a Zoom room. They barely got a chance to look at the scripts ahead of time. I think we sent them out to them that morning, and basically took turns negotiating who would play which role. They did it against type so that they could gain some perspective shifting happening. And then we would discuss each script. And sometimes we would agree and sometimes we wouldn't. And we had an audience, a weird audience out there that was watching. And the feedback I received was from the actors, what an amazing experience to be able to begin these conversations in this different sort of way, which is going back to the work we do, is we want people to be called in, not called out. We want people to come to the table to do the work. And so finding all these different ways to do the work is really my heart's desire, and is one of the most important things for me. So we'll be doing it again. There'll be more dates. I'm excited.
Yay. Yes, me too. It was really powerful. And I was looking at my journal. I have so many notes from that. So many amazing insights and conversations. And yeah, I agree. It's just theater is such a powerful way to get into these conversations, and helpful. All right, one more question for you. So I am curious, even though we talk almost every day. I want to know, your just also like your personal like biggest goals and dreams for yourself. And I mean, I guess it's a big question, but like for the world, like I know that right now, you know, it's easy to just get so defeated, but you're not a person. I feel like you are always looking to be helpful. And that's so inspiring for myself. And I know many other people who know you. So I'm just curious, like for yourself, like your biggest dreams and moving forward in this work that we're doing with Journey Theater Project, and then also just your biggest desires and dreams and goals for Journey Theater Project, like what other work that we can be doing, and like sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big question. That's huge. How far can we go? This work to me has to be done in groups, in forums, in small scenarios. Me being on a big stage with thousands of folks listening to me go on and on about some random topic or teaching them about how to be anti-racist, that is not, nor will it ever be my biggest dream and biggest hope and goal. My hope is that people will continue to care, that people will continue to show up and do the work over and over and over again and take the journey with us, because it is a journey and it is a process. And I would say, if I'm going to say, to be honest, my biggest hope is that corporations who run most of our country stop trying to just say they're doing the work, but really commit to doing the work, and doing the work in a radical way where they are working toward transformation, and they're changing their policies, and they're changing their hiring practices in order to continue to show up, not just during this time where everyone is clearly trying to say that they care about Black Lives Mattering, but all the time. Journey Theater Project, we were doing this work before June. You know, we were doing this work before last year. I've been doing this work. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I've been doing this work my whole life. From the moment that a kid told me that I was the color Black in the Crayola crayon box, and I was confused by that in 2nd or 3rd grade, this became my life's work. And it will continue to be my life's work no matter what. But I do think I would love to do it all over the world, you know? And I think there's different problems in different countries. Everyone, though, has been oppressed by white supremacy, and everyone has the opportunity to educate themselves and to change their perspective and to begin working on rewiring and taking away some of the power that has been given to white supremacy in a way that can really shift dynamics, so that we are not about one person on top, one person on bottom. We become a whole society, a whole world. And I know I'm going over time that we said we were going to be on, but I just want to say this work is important for you listening right now, or if you rewatch this later. It's important for you because white supremacy actually is working against you becoming your full self. You know, I can want you and scream really loud and say, don't you get it? Black lives have to matter. But it's also your life matters, whoever you are, wherever you are. And the moment you become complacent and say it is okay for us to sit back and be in our normative that we have been living in, that is the moment that you actually are stopping yourself from becoming fully actualized as your best self. Because you can't truly have your own culture if your culture is being suppressed. I
All right.
I,
I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna hop off and let you.
no,
Okay.
I'll close up. You know,
all right.
I could go on and on and on, but that's not necessary, I think, at this moment. I would like to know if there's any of you that are out there that want to hop on. I have like a couple more minutes before I have to jump outside in the 91-degree weather with my kids and like hose them down with a sprinkle. Actually, I don't. I have a kiddie pool. We're just going to jump in the kiddie pool. That's the full truth. But I would love to know if anyone has any other questions for Journey Theater Project or for myself and our work as anti-racist educators. We also do work about around sexual harassment, anti-bullying in schools, anti-bullying in the workplace. Frankly, I think that just because we're youth, we are considered bullies at times. My daughter loves to say, oh, this kid was a bully. But I know that as adults, we also can be bullies. So doing this work, building communities and helping us all come together is going to be my lifelong dedication of what I want to do as an advocate and an educator. But if no one has anything else they want to ask me and or say, then I think I'm going to go outside and enjoy the Sunday afternoon sun with my children. So thank you so much. Go to the Journey Theater Project on Instagram. Follow us there, and you will continue to get more information on our Race and You Courageous Conversation workshops that will be coming up in July. We have another round that is coming up. We also have another session in August, early August, with around the 28-hour play workshops that we will be doing. Oh, and one last thing. We raised $500 for Brooklyn Movement Center from our last round of workshops, which I'm super excited about and proud of. And the Brooklyn Movement Center is another organization you should look up. They've been doing this work in communities, in food justice, in community justice, defunding the police. They are working on all of that now tirelessly. So please go to them, donate to them. Help support them, because this is the time where people start getting tired and it's hard. And so the more we realize that people need this support and they need the encouragement, the better, because we are all human. And so we should all be encouraging each other. So, all right. I hope that's it. I'll be told later by my partners if I messed up. Take care.